Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm jumping on a call with Nikki to kind of plan the direction I want to go in for the next 12 weeks. I think we're doing maybe 8 weeks. I've been super unmotivated lately. My body is just feeling really sore and tired and I'm not enjoying the gym as much. So we're refocusing a few things, and Steph is primarily my coach and she does all my programming, and I think we're shifting a bit more to Nikki taking over my program this time, just for a bit more of a mobility focus, stability focus areas, I think like my lower back and my hips. So excited to do that. Gonna keep my structure. I've requested 4 days in the gym, 4 days full body. Gonna do a Pilates session each week with Liddell at the Pilates season, and hopefully that like meets all my needs, ticks my boxes. I'm just excited for something a little bit different, but also to like feel like me and put myself in control again, because I've felt super out of control. So let's chat.
You to share a little bit about what's going on, but also like where you feel like you can make progress or put some focus towards in terms of training and nervous system regulation as well.
I think like work has just really taken over. In the last term specifically, we did the shoot and then my entire work structure changed, trying to lead and regulate myself at work and then also be regulated at home to be like my best self at home was really tricky. I was so consistent and disciplined in my deficit leading into the photo shoot. Like I think I didn't quite hit the goal that I was after, so I as much as I enjoyed the shoot, I had an element of disappointment in myself. And I think that then compiled with all the changes and just not being able to like regulate my nervous system, sleep starting to drop off again, it just like compounded into everything. And I just like, I stopped enjoying the gym. I mentioned to Steph the change in tempo really messed with me and I just wasn't able to cope with it. Like it was just too much change. When the gym is such a safe space, I wasn't in the right space to take on that challenge. So glad I attempted it. But yeah, definitely need something that feels a bit safer. For the last kind of like two and a bit weeks, anytime I go to the gym, I haven't been using my program. I've just been like, all right, well, what do I feel like doing? Or what do I want to try? Or like just what feels good? And that's been really enjoyable, and it's brought that joy back into the gym.
The nervous system in terms of like pushing hard and heavy in the gym, it just doesn't serve you at the moment, and that's totally fine. And if we are adding all this, like training can be a good stress, but as soon as there's other stuff going on and we can't regulate and I suppose adapt to those nervous system stresses and those challenges, there's no point putting training on because it's just not going to serve you. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit of like getting down and taking a couple steps back to like be like, well, where do I go?
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I started therapy about 2 months ago too, and with like the goal is for better emotional regulation too, and just from some of like the different things that I've told her, she has pinpointed that food is one of my like self-soothing strategies when I'm not regulated. And so
me too, girl.
Like I know that there's all the like sitting and eating mindfully and the taste and the textures and all those kind of things. So yeah, like, you know, doing my mindfulness and doing my diaphragmatic breathing and doing all those things that I know they're in my toolkit. I've got them on my phone. I'm just not doing them. So I think it's all come at a really nice time where I can like I have the luxury of being able to set the times in my day and I can better prioritize all of those things.
It's hard because like you're like, I know how to do it, I've done it before, I know it helps, but if you've got all this other, like I like to think of it as like a mental load. If you've got all these other like mental things going on, like in terms of like I should do that, I've got to do that for work, like it just taking a moment out to sometimes do that breathing is good at the end once you do it, but having to like, it just puts another extra stress on. So I am glad that you've got this time to be able to work on this as well. I know Steph took you through a session the other day, one of her sessions as well, and she said you like enjoyed that. So,
I did, yeah.
Like, what are you enjoying?
I enjoyed, she did the like the IDL with my foot against the wall. So I liked like the challenge of that, and I think I really felt the activation.
I definitely have like a plan in terms of like where I see your training program going at the moment, in terms of like more a stability kind of, let's focus on like a bit of balance throughout the body, because like especially with your legs and what the physio said about the difference in strength there, but also making it fun and making it like, oh, I have not done this exercise before, let's try it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'd like to keep at least 4 days in the gym still with like a full body kind of focus, because I was explaining to Steph, which I'm sure you can also resonate with, like some days I'd look at whatever I have programmed for that day and go, I really just don't feel like doing that today, and that automatically becomes a block, and I feel like whatever tiny little minuscule barrier I can remove for myself at this point in time, I just need to get rid of it.
Yeah, cool, awesome. And I train full body and it works really well for me as well. And it doesn't mean that we work like muscle groups any less. It just looks differently in terms of how we program it. Is there any movements that you feel like you want to be able to focus on, or something that you feel like is a real challenge for you? Like for example, like a single leg RDL, like whether you find it like really wobbly through your ankle, through your knee, is there any movements that you're like, I feel like I could like do better in that movement, but it might not necessarily mean that we just train that movement, if that makes sense?
I think just generally anything single leg. I have been feeling quite like tight in my hips, and I have a feeling that it's I remember you posted something about the glutes like overcompensating. I think around that, like I'm not going to be sitting as much. Like my study will mostly be from home, and I have my standing desk, so I've got like plans to stop being in so much of a seated position during the day. But yeah, some kind of element to support that would also be great.
Yeah, 100%. And like our hip flexors, when they are tight, most of the time it's not because they're actually a tight muscle, it's because they're doing all the work to be able to compensate for something else. It's kind of like our lower back. It's like those muscles that like just tries to help out whenever they bloody want, and we don't want them to. So I know, it's like how I describe it to clients. I'm like, we want it to be strong, but we don't want it to work all the time. In terms of like your upper body, like coming from like sitting at a desk a lot, do you feel any challenges, any restrictions through there?
I have noticed that I tend to get like a bit of a pull through like my neck, particularly if I'm doing something like ab work where I'm trying to lift my shoulders off the ground. Like it doesn't matter where I put my focus, like I feel that strain through my neck almost immediately. My shoulders are hypermobile, so sometimes when I am training for like I want to go heavier in like a shoulder press or something, it's like it like clunks in. I don't know if you can like almost see it.
I can see it.
And so to have extra weight in my hand and for it to like do that, that's preventing me from like strengthening some of those areas. So look, I don't know if that's something we can improve, but
100%. 100% we can.
That would be
girl.
great too.
Do you have in your program, I probably have put it in there if I've got my hands on your program once, do you remember like a DNS star? Have I ever given that to you?
Yes, because you taught me them in person and then you put them in my program the next week and I swore at you.
How are you finding those? In terms of like your shoulder, like clicky poppy sort of movement.
Fine. I think like a lot of any kind of like side plank variation, or even like just a regular plank, I think that kind of pressure in my shoulders is something that stops me from progressing like my whole duration.
What about your ankles?
Weak as shit.
Okay. Straight up weak as shit.
I'm
oh my god, bless.
I have flat feet, and so I'm always trying to like correct that. Should have orthotics, don't have them.
Okay. Well,
excellent, Caitlin.
You wear sneakers, obviously, at the gym. Yeah. When you were at work, what shoes did you wear?
Slides.
Girl.
They were Archies.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. The other question I have for you in terms of your ankles, when you're doing like RDLs, do you leave your shoes on or take them off?
I now take them off.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And in terms of like pain through your like, because you've got flat feet, like pain wise, where do you feel it when you've got to do a lot of whole of that ankle stability aspect?
I don't get any pain. It's just like an awareness that they are wobbly. We briefly talked about like nutrition. And in terms of like maybe tracking is not what I need at the moment.
Yeah.
And
100%.
to just like I know what meals kind of work together and will meet my needs.
Does that feel like something that might sit well with you in terms of like just having a mindfulness of hitting my protein, but I'm not putting so much focus on it that it's causing overwhelm?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've been doing it for long enough now that I know like if like steak is something we eat a lot in our house, like if I eat a steak that's this size, I know that that's going to get me roughly this many grams of protein, and between 100%. Breakfast, what I've eaten for lunch and that, I'm good. Or if I'm not having it for dinner, I know how to like make it up in other ways, or like on this particular day I probably need a protein shake. It's not something that I have often, but like this day I might need to supplement it. So
I think that's all. I've got some notes and we'll work on more stability based but still strengthening, and then removing as much nervous system heightened things as possible.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan. Awesome. Well, it was lovely to see your face.
Back at ya.
And just know I'm here if you ever need, because I've been through it. I've done all the things that you're feeling right now, so I understand more than you know. But yes. Yeah. Oh, okay, have a good rest of your day, my dear.
Thank you.
And I'll chat
see you
to
in less than a month.
I know,
it's
that's
like only
crazy.
3 weeks
also,
away.